Hi everyone, here with your weekly reading. I'm using the Shadowscapes Tarot this week. I love this deck, it's really beautiful. So let's see, try to get this somewhat lined up here.
Okay, something is building toward you right now that's going to completely shift your reality. And when it lands, the shock of it is going to take your breath away. Not because it's bad, because it's so unexpectedly good. You're about to experience something you stopped believing was possible for you. Something you wanted so badly you eventually convinced yourself to stop wanting it. Something you gave up hope on. Let me describe what's happening. You may have been in survival mode for a while, just getting through each day, managing expectations, protecting yourself from disappointment by not hoping for too much. Some people experience this as mature, as realistic, as having learned not to set themselves up for letdown by expecting things that don't come. It might feel like you've been living in grayscale, not miserable necessarily, just flat, going through the motions, existing without the highs because you're protecting yourself from the lows. But here's what's about to happen. Something's going to break through that protective numbness and make you feel everything at once. Let's pause here. This reflection invites you to consider, what did you stop letting yourself hope for because hoping hurt too much? Maybe it's love, real love, the kind that doesn't require you to shrink or perform or settle, the kind you thought only existed in movies. You may have convinced yourself that kind of love isn't real, that everyone settles, that the best you can hope for is someone you're compatible with, even if they're not what you actually want. It's possible you're about to discover you were wrong, that the thing you thought was a fantasy actually exists, and it's coming toward you whether you're ready or not. Or maybe it's opportunity, professional, creative, financial, something that changes your trajectory completely, something that moves you from where you are to where you've been dreaming of being. Some people stop dreaming because dreaming without achieving feels painful. So they lower their expectations, make peace with less, convince themselves they're happy with good enough. You may have been one of those people, and you're about to remember what it feels like to want something and actually get it. It can feel terrifying when dreams start manifesting, like you don't know how to handle getting what you wanted, like you've practiced disappointment so long you forgot how to receive joy. This reflection invites you to consider, if something you stopped hoping for suddenly became real, would you know how to receive it? There's something specific about the intensity of this. It's possible pass out isn't an exaggeration. The shock of this is going to be physical. Your body is going to react. Adrenaline, disbelief, the need to sit down and process what just happened. Because when you've been braced for disappointment and you get delight, instead your nervous system doesn't know what to do with that. The relief is so intense it's overwhelming. You might cry, not sad tears, shocked tears, happy tears, the kind that come when pressure you've been holding finally releases. Some people don't trust good surprises. They immediately start looking for the catch, for what's wrong, for the reason this can't be real. You may do that too. Your first instinct might be skepticism. This is too good to be true, running through your mind on loop, waiting for the reveal that it's not what it seems. But sometimes things are exactly what they seem. Sometimes good things happen without catches. Sometimes you just get blessed without having to pay for it later. It can feel dangerous to fully believe in good news, like believing makes you vulnerable to devastation if it falls through, like staying skeptical protects you. But skepticism also prevents you from fully experiencing joy. You can't receive a gift while holding it at arm's length, examining it for flaws. This reflection invites you to consider, can you let yourself be shocked by something good without immediately questioning it? Let me talk about timing and why this is happening now. It's possible you've reached a point where you genuinely let go, where you stopped forcing, stopped pushing, stopped trying to make things happen through sheer will. And that surrender created space for something to enter that couldn't arrive while you were clenching so tight trying to control everything. You weren't giving up, you were releasing. There's a difference. Giving up is bitter, releasing is acceptance. Some people confuse the two. They think letting go means they failed, that if they were stronger or more faithful or more persistent, they could have made it happen. You may have felt that way, like releasing your grip on what you wanted was admitting defeat, like you should have kept fighting. But sometimes the fight is what's blocking the blessing. Sometimes you have to stop chasing for the thing to finally catch up to you. It can feel counterintuitive, like if you want something, you should pursue it relentlessly. And sometimes that's true, but other times the pursuing is what's pushing it away. This reflection invites you to consider, what did you finally stop forcing that's now arriving naturally? There's something about your readiness that matters here. It's possible you're receiving this now because now you can actually handle it. You've grown enough, healed enough, developed enough capacity to maintain what's coming instead of sabotaging it. You might have wanted this same thing years ago, and if you'd gotten it then, you would have destroyed it. You weren't ready. You were too wounded or too desperate or too unconscious of your patterns, but you're different now. You've done work, you've learned lessons, you've developed skills and awareness you didn't have before. Some people get bitter about delayed blessings. They focus on what they missed instead of being grateful they're receiving it when they're actually ready for it. You may be tempted to do that, to think about all the time you wasted waiting, all the suffering you endured that could have been avoided if this had come sooner. But what if the waiting was preparation? What if the suffering built something in you that you needed to sustain this blessing? It can feel unfair that you had to earn readiness through pain, but readiness doesn't come from comfort. It comes from being tested and surviving. This reflection invites you to consider, how are you different now than you were the last time you wanted this? Let me talk about what this might actually be. It's possible it's relational, someone entering your life who completely rewrites your understanding of what connection can be, someone who meets you at a level you thought was reserved for fiction. Not perfect, but right. Not without challenges, but worth them. Not fantasy, but better than anything you've experienced in reality. Or it's professional, an opportunity that changes your career trajectory, that validates years of work, that moves you from struggling to thriving in ways you couldn't have manufactured yourself. Maybe it's creative, a breakthrough, a moment of clarity, a project clicking into place, something you've been trying to force suddenly flowing effortlessly. Some people experience multiple breakthroughs at once, like everything aligns simultaneously, like all the areas where they've been blocked suddenly open. You may be entering one of those periods where it's not just one good thing, it's several, compounding, creating momentum that feels almost supernatural. And that's what's going to be so shocking. Not one blessing, multiple, all at once. Like everything you've been working toward converging in the same moment. It can feel overwhelming. Like you don't know which thing to focus on. Like you're being given so much you can't hold it all. But you can. You're more capable than you realize. You just haven't had the opportunity to prove it yet. This reflection invites you to consider, if multiple blessings arrived at once, could you receive them without sabotaging yourself? There's something about your response that will determine what happens next. It's possible your first instinct will be to minimize it, to downplay it, to act like it's not that big of a deal, even though internally you're screaming. Some people do this to protect themselves from jinxing it. Like if they celebrate too hard, the good thing will disappear. Like they have to stay humble to keep it. But that's not how it works. Good things don't disappear because you're happy about them. They disappear when you don't value them enough to maintain them. You can celebrate without arrogance. You can be grateful without being small. You can acknowledge that something incredible happened without fear, that acknowledging it makes it fragile. Some people also minimize because they're afraid of other people's jealousy, afraid that if they show they're happy, others will resent them or try to diminish it. You may worry about that, about how to share good news without making others feel bad, about how to be excited without seeming like you're bragging. But your joy doesn't diminish anyone else. Your blessing doesn't take from someone else's potential. You're allowed to be happy about good things happening to you. It can feel like you need to apologize for being blessed, like you should temper your excitement to make others comfortable. But you don't. Let yourself be fully joyful, fully grateful, fully shocked by the goodness arriving in your life. This reflection invites you to consider, will you let yourself fully celebrate, or will you minimize to protect yourself? You remain in complete control of how you respond to what's coming. You can receive it with open arms, with skepticism, with joy, with fear, with gratitude. The power is yours. It always has been. You may notice reading this has activated something. Maybe hope, maybe anxiety, maybe the desperate wish that this is actually about you and not just general encouragement. Whatever it is, honor it, take what resonates, softly release the rest, trust yourself. Before we close, I want to ask you something. What's one thing you stopped hoping for that would shock you if it actually happened? Drop it in the comments if you want to name it. And this, if something incredible happened, who's the first person you'd tell? Get ready, because you're going to pass out, and it's incredible. And the shock isn't the scary kind. It's the kind that reminds you that good things still happen, that dreams still come true, that hope isn't foolish. You've been braced for disappointment so long that delight is going to feel foreign, overwhelming, almost too much to process. Not eventually, soon. Trust yourself with this. Trust that you can handle good news as well as you've handled bad. Trust that receiving blessings doesn't make you selfish. Trust that you're allowed to be shocked by joy. I'll see you in the next one. And listen, incredible things happen to people who stop believing they will. You stopped believing. That's exactly when belief becomes unnecessary, because it's already on its way. Stay ready, stay open, stay willing to be absolutely shocked. It's coming.